Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all having a lovely day today. So I'm finally back filming videos again. For you guys, you will have already seen like a week's worth of videos, I believe, because I had some pre-recorded. But yeah, this is my first time filming since I had a little break. And I just quickly wanted to say sorry for like leaving you guys hanging for so long. Just a few things was going off and I just needed to not film for a while. But yeah. Anyway, that's not what this video is about. So obviously it's Wednesday, which means it's a Wickedly Weird Wednesday. And yeah, I'm so excited for the stories we're gonna hear today. So without further ado, let's just jump straight on into this. If you're new around here, please consider subscribing. I post videos every Monday, Wednesday and Saturday. And yeah, leave a like if you enjoy and let's get into it. Okay, so I just moved my mirror a bit closer, I've done my eyebrows, I've put my eyes with eyeshadow, and now the first story is actually going to be some voice notes, which genuinely, I really appreciate this because it gives me a chance to like catch up with my makeup a little bit, or in this instance, I'm going to start off with my eyes. So enjoy this, and yeah, thank you for sending me this story in. She's actually sent me in two stories now, I believe, or she's messaged me on two different occasions. But yeah, I really appreciate this. Let's get into it.
Hey, hope you don't mind that I'm voice noting this part. I just cannot be bothered to type today. So yeah, I'm from Scotland, if you can tell. And I hope that my accent isn't too thick for you to understand. Anyway, the last part that I was going to tell you was last summer. So this time last year, my fiance and I bought our first house, and it was during the summertime. I was in the kitchen, I was sitting at our little table, he was at work, and it was after work one day, so it was maybe about 6 p.m, and I was sitting messaging my sister, and every time I walked over to the sink, I was getting this kind of energy feeling. I apologise, there's going to be multiple recordings because it cuts you off at 1 minute. So yeah, every time I walked towards the sink and I stood in a specific spot on the floor, I just felt like this energy coming through the floor, and I was barefoot, it was summer, it's hardwood floor in the kitchen, and it was only in one specific spot that you could really feel like all this energy. I'm kind of a believer in like energy and the power of healing, and I'm trained in Reiki 1, I think it is. I done that too long ago. So it was bizarre that it was just this one spot. So I'm sitting, I'm eating my dinner, and something kept making me look over at this spot in the kitchen. So it was kind of in front of the kitchen window. So our back garden has a padlock, and basically no one could have got into the garden without me knowing. There's not like a side entrance or whatever, it's just like one entrance into the garden. And like I say, the gate was locked and no one could have got in. And I looked up, out of all the things I've ever seen before, they always had like a blurred face. They've never had a visible face. It was always just more, I could tell it was always like a man in the shadowy figure. Whereas this time, and it absolutely terrified me, I looked up and seen a woman with blonde hair. She was a little bit older, skin was a little bit wrinkled and things, and this look that she had on her face, it made me think of, this is a horror film. It's that type of thing where I knew, like, it was so freaky. She disappeared within a blink of an eye. We've got a security camera out the back that obviously didn't pick up anything because, well, clearly she wasn't real. And it made me feel like I was going completely nuts. But given that I've been aware of things in the past and seeing things, I knew that what I seen was real. So yeah, that's the last part to the story. This woman, well, I'm saying it's the last part to the story. Last night I seen a shadowy figure in my bedroom. Mother half is up, well, it was up at just before 4 o'clock this morning for work. So he was in the other room just to allow me not to have a disturbed sleep. And last night, it wasn't even that late. I didn't have any of the lights on. I was just on my phone. And there was this shadow figure standing in the room. And I shone my phone over to it. And when I put light against it, it wasn't there. So yeah, that's the last one, and that was the last night. So yeah, that's all my stories. And if I think of like anything else that happens, I will certainly let you know, because I know you're kind of interested in this sort of thing. And my apologies for all the voice notes and you having to listen to my annoying Scottish accent. Bye.
You are absolutely fine. I actually really, really, really like your accent. I have a friend that's Scottish as well, and she watches my videos sometimes. I don't know whether she'll be watching these ones, but yeah, I actually really like the Scottish accent. And thank you so much for sending me stories in. I really, really do appreciate it. And you get so much, like, I guess for lack of a better word, like activity. Like, what on earth? I would have shit my pants, by the way. Like, could you imagine looking in your garden, seeing something, and then you blink and it's gone, and it looks like something straight out of a horror film? No, thank you. And the shadowy figure, don't even get me started. I have my own kind of story on like a shadowy figure, but oh my god, it really does freak me out. And the fact that she looked like something out of a horror film, I would have absolutely screamed. But thank you so much for sending me your stories. I really, really do appreciate it. If any of you guys have any stories that you want to send me in like either voice notes or you can just send them in a message if you want. You can send me on Instagram or you can send me on Twitter. I'll leave my Instagram on the screen. I believe my Instagram and my Twitter are the same anyway. But yeah, I check my Instagram more than Twitter. But yeah, I'll leave it on screen for you now. But thank you so much. I'm just going to quickly finish off my eyes. I literally just need to finish the wings up and clean them up, and then I will be back and we'll tell some more stories. Okay, so I wanted to tell my story on like shadow figures and stuff because, okay, right. So I've lived in this house that I'm in now for like 5 years, maybe a little bit over that actually. But basically when we first moved in, we gave my daughter the like slightly larger room just because we thought she'd need all the room for like play and stuff like that. So yeah, she had the slightly larger room anyway. And then like as she got a bit older and, you know, she got all of her toys and stuff, she just genuinely had too much room in that room. So we actually swapped the rooms. This is relevant. I promise I'm not just babbling on. So originally, when I was in her room, there was one time when I was asleep, I woke up, like, for no reason at all. And as I, like, opened my eyes, I have no idea what time it was, genuinely was just fast asleep and woke up for no reason. I opened my eyes, and literally, for lack of a better word, I absolutely shut myself. Like, I woke up, opened my eyes, and there was literally there was no face, nothing, just a pure black shadow just went like whoosh over my face as I'm like lying down, and it like came right up to my face and then went over me, and I had a full on mini panic attack in the bed. I was like, what the hell was that? I couldn't sleep. I had to get out of the room. I literally went downstairs, put the TV on and sat and watched TV until I fell asleep downstairs. And I'd seen little things in that room before, but never really thought nothing of it. You know, I always kind of thought like it was like shadows in the night, you know, like sometimes you have clothes set on a chair or something and it looks like something's there, but you know, there's not. I always kind of thought it was stuff like that, but that particular like situation scared me to death, and I'd completely forgotten about it until the other day. My daughter's been suffering really bad with her ears at the minute. She keeps getting really, really bad earache that literally leaves her in tears, and we found ways to kind of manage it, but until she kind of calms down, I always sit in the room with her and lay in the bed with her until, you know, she calms down and eventually drifts off, and then I sneak out of the room to let her get her 4 nights worth of sleep. So this happened like probably, it couldn't have been any more than 3 weeks ago. It's actually probably less time than that, but I suck at time. Anyway, I was in bed with her. We had the TV on, we was watching TV, we was just watching a film. Obviously, like I said, she'd had earache, so I was just trying to calm her down and yeah, get her back to sleep. And yeah, we're just sat watching TV, and her door, she doesn't like to sleep with her door closed, which honestly I hate because of many reasons. I would much sooner she wanted to sleep with the door closed, but she doesn't like it, so I always leave it open. So the door was open, and for whatever reason, I can't even tell you why, I just looked straight at the door. And as I do, I saw this tiny little, I'm not sure whether it was a shadow or a person. It was for a split, like, second. It was literally no more than 2 seconds. I saw it. And obviously I was like, what the hell was that kind of, like, thingy in my eyes? Like, you know, that you do that, like, what was that? I looked again, grabbed my phone, shone the flashlight, which in turn I probably shouldn't have done when I think about it now, because it really did freak Aurora out because she was asking me what I was doing. I told her I was looking for something. And it was gone. And I was like, what? But when I looked at the doorway, it was walking directly towards the bed where we were, which literally made me shit myself. And I didn't leave the room when Aurora went to sleep. I wanted to stay in there with her. I don't know why. I just had this, I didn't want to leave her in there. So, yeah, when she went to sleep, I just stayed up watching Disney films because, yeah, I was too scared to go to sleep. But yeah, that is the, like, second time I've definitely seen something in that room. And I don't think it's like tricks of the light or anything like that. I don't know. It's just so, yeah, scary. So those are a couple experiences I've had with shadows myself, but I don't think I've ever fully, and I actually hope I never do, I don't think I've ever fully seen something with like a face and all of that. Like, I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. But yeah, I've had a few little shadowy experiences myself, and I'd completely forgotten about it until I saw that whatever that thing was come towards the bed when I was in my daughter's room. I'd completely forgotten all about it. But yeah, scary, freaky. I'm hating how my foundation is sitting on my skin today. Hating it. Not the point. So this next story is called This Never Sat Right With Me. This story happened when I was in the 6th grade. Probably around 2008. My family and I had just moved into an apartment. My dad was working in Alaska. We lived in Texas as an ice road trucker, so he was out of the house more often than he was in. This may not scare you or creep you out, but to this day, this memory does not sit well, and I've tried making sense of it as much as I can. One evening, I was sitting in the living room on the floor with my back against the couch watching TV. The apartment only had one entrance, which was in the living room, and my parents' bedroom was behind the wall where the TV was. So in order for them to leave the house, they'd have to first go through the living room, around the couch, and through the front door. As I'm sitting there, my mum opens her door and half pops out holding a red popsicle, like an ice cream popsicle. She's smiling and waving at me to come to her room. Oh my God, I feel like this is gonna scare the living daylights out of me. I remember being so weirded out by this because she wasn't talking and she always talked, but she just stood there. Oh my God. Half of her was behind the wall, signalling to me to come as if the popsicle was the prize if I did. Oh my God, no, stop. Even then, I remember thinking, how did she get that? The kitchen is in here. It was connected to the living room. And so I said, no. I usually listen to my mum, but this time I felt off, so I denied. Now, 2 minutes later, the front door opens and my mum walks in on the phone talking to my grandma. Oh my God, no. Mid-conversation, bringing in the groceries from the store, and I just didn't understand. How did she do that? Oh my God, stop it. There's no way she even denies trying to pull a prank on me, even today in 2024. Jesus, I can't speak. The more I think about it, the more it doesn't bode well with my spirit. Oh my God, I've heard about like stuff like this happening. Is it called like a skinwalkers or something, where they like pretend to be like your dog, or usually they'll like knock on your door in like your mum's voice or something? I have heard about this and oh my God, that is so scary. Thank God you said no. Oh my God, that has genuinely given me the heebie-jeebies. Oh my God, that is so scary. I don't even know what to say to that, genuinely. Oh my God, that is just, ugh. And even if, thinking about it, even if your mum was playing a prank on you, how would she have got past you if there's only like the one like entrance and exit point? If you know what I mean, like how you were trying to explain. Oh my God, that is so freaky. I'm actually so glad you said no, because, ooh, that has just given me shivers. Okay, this next story sounds absolutely insane. It's titled, Am I Haunting My Own House? So I'm in. Oh my God. So whatever this is only manifests around my wife. Only shows up once a month or so and imitates my voice and just says hi or whatever. So one day I was at work and the boss called and said I can go home a couple hours early. A few hours later, he calls back and says, sorry, somebody called in, you will have to stay. I didn't bother telling my wife this because this happens a lot and I didn't want to disappoint her again. So at this very time, I would have been home early. She hears me at the door say, hey, I'm home. At this point, I'm like, oh, it really is me. Perhaps she's picking up a parallel reality. So once some work friends and I tried to force this to happen again by flipping a coin. Ground rules, tails, I have to go home, heads, I stay. If I go home, I walk in the door and say it works, obviously hoping to stay there and wait for the phone call, but got tails. I told my wife about this and she said don't do any more experiments because this whole experience freaks her out. How bizarre. I wonder what that is. That is so freaky. They also said, I didn't want to make this too long to read, but she has also felt someone on my side of the bed and had smelt me vaping when I was at work. Oh my God, that is so freaky. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this next story is called 3 Knocks on the Door. About 7 years ago, my dad passed away in my godmother's home in December. His death was an accident and very sudden. I am so sorry to hear that. In January, I had gone back to my godmother's house and it was around 8 p.m. when I heard a knock at the front door and my cousin went to look and no one was there. But something knocked 2 more times and both times nobody was there. This has always bothered me because I always felt it was my dad trying to communicate with the family, since many other strange things followed this incident. Something knocked at your door, no one was there. I wonder how fast your cousin got up and answered the door, because it very well could have been just some annoying kids playing knock a door run. We used to do that when I was younger, but obviously if you just jumped straight up and went and checked the door and no one was there, that is honestly so freaky. And I wonder if it was your dad trying to communicate with you in some way. Okay, so this story is called Why Did I Hear That? A few days ago, I stayed with my boyfriend at his grandma's house. At around 11 or 12 at night, we decided to watch Annabelle. Oh dear. Since his grandma's house has a single bedroom, we were staying in the living room and watched the movie on his laptop. We connected a speaker and started watching. Halfway through the movie, we started falling asleep, so we decided to shut everything off and disconnect it so we could sleep. Next thing I know, I was being woken up by the sound of an organ and the speaker making an interference noise. Okay, that's not flipping freaky, is it? Oh my goodness. I thought it was my imagination, so I tried to brush it off and go back to sleep. But every few minutes, the same noise would go off. I tried waking my boyfriend up by shaking him, but he was too deep in sleep. After an hour or so of me waking up and going back to sleep, my boyfriend's mum comes out of the room and starts shutting all the windows and doors off. She goes back in the room, and shortly after she comes out again and wakes up my boyfriend. While she's doing that, I hear the same organ and speaker and interference one last time, but get confused at their lack of reaction. Oh my god, no. He gets up and his mum signals for him to go up to the windows. They stand there for a few minutes and then he comes up to me and I ask him what's going on, and he says that his mum was hearing really heavy chains being dragged outside. Oh my god, this just keeps getting worse and worse. By this time, it was around 5 a.m, so I decided to ask them about the organ and speaker noise, and they looked at me confused, and told me they didn't hear any of that. My boyfriend even showed me that the keyboard was disconnected and the speaker had run out of battery. I just stood there confused, trying to figure out why I was the only one who heard that. We stayed there a few more minutes and I slowly started falling asleep again. Right before I fell completely asleep, I heard a woman's voice saying, "Stop, don't do that." I really don't have an explanation for this, but wanted to share it with you. Oh my god. I feel like there's so much to unpack there. So you was hearing things and his mum was hearing things, but he didn't hear anything. Oh my god, I would never stay there again. I just would never, ever, ever stay there again. That is so scary. Oh, I don't even know, I don't even know what to say about that, really. That's just bizarre. You both heard different, freaky noises. I don't think I've ever heard of, a similar story than that. That's so weird. I wonder if anything like that has ever happened to them since. I honest to God hope not, because, oh my god, that would freak me out. I feel like the freakiest thing about that is also that the mum heard chains being dragged outside and whatnot. So you were both hearing, oh my god, no, I can't even try and debunk that in my own head, because that is just so scary. Okay, so I'm gonna quickly finish off my makeup, just put a little bit of mascara on and do a lip, and then I'll probably read one more story. So I will be right back. Okay, so this last story is called "Kids Would Run Out of Our Haunted House in the Middle of the Night." Haunted ghost stories are bad. I feel like when it's children, I feel like it just makes it worse. Here we go. So we purchased our second home, a 2-story with a full basement unfinished. This home was in Colorado, actually not far from Columbine High. I hope I said that right. Lots of strange things happened in this house. Most nights I had a man/shadow man who stood at the foot of my bed. Eventually I got tired of it and put a line of salt down at the door entrances of all the bedrooms and asked him to stay out of my room. After that, the figure stayed out of my room but stood in the hallway. What on earth? In the hallway was a linen closet that abutted our oldest son's bedroom. His closet, actually. The linen closet was a strange thing. It wouldn't stay closed. I would literally close it, hear it click, stand there, and it would stay shut. I'd turn my back, walk to the stairs, and it would slowly open. Oh, it's so freaky. At the time, the boys were about 8, 6, and 3. Our oldest had a best friend who would sometimes spend the night. Sometimes outside in the camper or on the trampoline. The last time he slept over, it was an October night. The boys stayed up late playing video games before I shooed them off to bed. I heard them goofing off as young boys do. They got the go to sleep or else warning a couple times. I checked on them before I decided to crash around 1:30 in the morning. At about 3 a.m, we were awakened by a screaming boy, not my son. Let's call him Brian. He was standing on the stairs wearing Pokemon pajamas, shivering in fear. Of course, I took him downstairs to find out what was going on. After a cup of hot chocolate, I found out Brian awakened to see a transparent looking young girl in a white nightdress coming out of the closet in my son's room. He freaked out, then screamed. She disappeared. Poor Brian never slept over again, nor did any other kids, and I had to drive him home at 4 a.m. None of my children ever saw the apparition again. I suspect she couldn't walk out of the closet because of the mess of Legos. We had other things happen from time to time. I did do some research on the house and neighborhood. It turns out it was built where Native Americans lived, perhaps buried their families. It was a place the Ute tribe, I'm so sorry if I'm saying that wrong, usually summered. I lived in a few different places that were haunted. Possibly I'm sensitive. Oh my God, that is so just freaky. And that poor little boy that was staying over got the fright of his life. I don't know what I'd do though. Could you imagine being a kid, waking up and just seeing like a girl at the foot of your bed? Even now as an adult, that would be enough for me to just up and leave. Up, pack my stuff, leave, get a new house, go. Because I couldn't be dealing with that stuff. Anyway, on that spooky one, I'm definitely going to leave it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's stories, and I hope you like my makeup look. It's just very simple. My kind of go-to at the minute. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's stories. Thank you to the lovely lady that sent me in another story, especially the voice notes. The voice notes really actually helped because it let me get a head start on my makeup. If you do want to send in your own stories, send them me over on Instagram is probably the best place, so I'll leave that on screen now. But I also have my Twitter linked in the description as well as my Instagram. Yeah, send me voice notes, messages. If you have pictures, oh my God, I would love to see. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed today's stories. If you did, please leave a like because it really, really does help me out. If you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe before you click on out so that you don't miss when I post new spooky videos every Wednesday, or when I post every Monday, Wednesday and Saturday. But with all that being said, I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.